Deuteronomy chapter 5. Moses summoned the whole of Israel and said to them, "Listen, Israel, to the statutes and the norms which I promulgate in your hearing this day. Learn them and be careful to put them into practice. The Lord our God made a covenant with us at Horeb, and his covenant was not only with our forefathers, but with us as well, who are all alive here today. The Lord spoke with us face to face from the midst of the fire on the mountain. At that time, I was standing between the Lord and you to reveal the word of the Lord to you, for you were afraid of the fire and were not willing to go up to the mountain." These were his words. "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of slavery. You shall not have other gods besides me. You shall not make for yourselves statues representing any living being on the earth or in the waters under the earth. You shall not prostrate yourselves before them or worship them, because I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, who punishes the children for the fault of the fathers to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. But I am merciful to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and obey my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, because the Lord will not leave unpunished anyone who takes his name in vain. Take care to keep holy the Sabbath day, as the Lord your God has commanded you. You have 6 days to work and do your tasks, but the 7th day is the Sabbath, in honor of the Lord your God. You shall not perform any work, you or your son or your daughter or your servant, male or female, or your ox or your donkey, or any of your animals. Neither shall the alien who lives in your land do any work. Your servant shall rest just like you. Remember that you were once enslaved in the land of Egypt, from where the Lord your God brought you out with his firm hand and outstretched arm. For that reason, the Lord your God has commanded you to observe the Sabbath. Honor your father and your mother, as the Lord your God has commanded, so that you may live long and may prosper in the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not commit murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not lust after the wife of your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, or his field, or his servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is his." These are the words the Lord addressed to the whole assembly on the mountain when he spoke in a loud voice from the midst of the fire and the dense misty cloud. He said only this, and he wrote these words on the 2 slabs of stone which he gave to me. You heard that voice in the midst of darkness, while the mountain was becoming resplendent with the fire. Then all the heads of the tribes, together with the elders, approached me and said, "See, the Lord our God has shown us his glory and greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. We now know that mere mortals may still be alive after God has spoken to them. But why should we be consumed by this huge fire? For if we go on listening to the voice of the Lord further, we shall surely die. What human being could listen to the voice of the living God from the midst of the fire, as we have done, and still remain alive? Better that you go nearer to hear everything that the Lord our God will say to you. Then tell it to us, that we may put it into practice. The Lord heard the sound of your words when you spoke to me, and said to me, I have heard what this people have said to you, and they have spoken well. May they always have the same spirit to fear me and observe all my commandments, so that they and their children might prosper forever. Rise up and tell them to return to their tents. But as for you, stand here beside me, that I may teach you the commandments with its statutes and norms, which you have to teach them, that they may put them into practice in the land that I will give them as a possession. Observe and put into practice the things that the Lord your God has commanded you. Do not turn aside from them, either to the right or to the left. Follow all the way which the Lord has marked out for you, so that you may have life and prosperity, and remain long in the land you are going to take possession of.